Welcome to the Wealth Project Podcast. Join us as we take the journey from employee to entrepreneur. Now your hosts, Sergio Suarez and Marco Suarez.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Wealth Project Podcast. I'm here again with my co-host, Marco. What an exciting episode we have for you guys today. Hey, Marco.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? That is absolutely right, Serge. This is by far my most anticipated episode as we launch our podcast today.
It is with special excitement that I introduce our very, very first guest on the podcast, this amazing human being, Kim Wilkinson. Kim is a loving wife and mom with a passion for helping others. The passion has brought her to teach yoga, meditation, energy healing, and life coaching. Kim has combined years of knowledge and training along with her own personal experience to create empowered wives and moms.
As if that wasn't enough, Kim has recently taken it upon herself to create this amazing community and rapidly growing team that is helping to heal millions around the world and change their future outcome.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kim. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. Been busy, and with the podcast, it's been, keeping us really busy, but it's been a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
How's it going today, Marco?
Oh, living the dream, doing the podcast, going to be billionaires this year. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. So I gave Kim, our listeners a brief introduction about yourself, but I just feel like I haven't done really justice to all the amazing things that you've accomplished and the way you've helped people every day. So why don't you give us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay. Well, I have been in the health and wellness industry for a little over 25 years. So I started when I was 10, right? In various capacities. Most of my career was spent in recreation with municipal government. But also during that time, I did spend a lot of time teaching fitness and workshops outside of that. So somewhat, I guess, self-employed outside of that. Around 2014, I decided to leave the corporate world and become full-time self-employed. And it was the best decision I ever made. I started teaching yoga, more fitness classes, and then I quickly added other modalities such as meditation, Reiki, life coaching, and then eventually I opened up some doors to a few MLM opportunities.
Awesome. So the Reiki, the yoga, and everything that you do, that's all yourself. That's your own business that you do?
Correct. Yeah. So I have a home studio in my house where I do one-on-one sessions, small workshops, that sort of thing. And then I contract to a yoga studio here in Edmonton for classes.
So you've got a lot of experience with basically you're running your own business and kind of working from home, which is really cool.
Right. I've learned a lot, a lot of good lessons.
And so how long would you say that you were kind of working from home, like with your home businesses and stuff?
It's been full time since 2014.
Right on. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. You have a lot of experience, like we said. So it's awesome to have you again on our podcast. We mentioned a little bit earlier in our introduction about the community and team that you've built, changing the future outcome of millions. For us, it makes total sense, but for our listeners, it's a little bit of a cliffhanger. Can you explain in your own words, what that is?
Absolutely. So changing the future outcome, also shortened for CTFO. This is an amazing company that distributes health and CBD products. And as we all know, the hemp industry, CBD is booming right now. Forbes is predicting 700% growth by 2020. So this is definitely a market that is worth getting into right now.
Absolutely. This business is beautiful, beautiful business. I'm excited to get started. Serge is excited to get started.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, it's amazing how quickly it's actually grown for us too. I mean, and I know you can attest to that, Kim. It's I've only been in it with our personal accounts for since December 1st, I think it was when I signed up.
Okay.
And already it's blown up big time, and I love the fact that it's such a community. I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
It's completely mind blowing, and you're absolutely right. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. It's amazing.
It's just something I don't think you see a lot in other types of businesses, is the community that you've built and how supportive everybody is of each other,
do have this strong team, and even though most of us have never met face to face, because we are actually all over Canada, the US, and a couple from England even in our team. And it's like everybody is so close and supportive, and we really do work as a team.
I know, and I the way I describe it is like it's like we're a family. We're all helping each other. We're all, especially like, I mean, in the last few days, it's been a little rough go with CTFO changing their website and everything. With all which is expected. I mean, there's gonna be some pains there, right? But I mean, Absolutely. We're all helping each other out, telling each other how to change our passwords and all that. It's just been absolutely amazing.
It is. The camaraderie is amazing, the support within the team, and it's fun. Everybody seems to be really having a good time with it, which I actually have not seen that in previous MLMs I have done before. So,
Kim, why exactly did you get started with this particular company, with CTFO? I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of opportunities out there with, especially in CBD. I mean, there's tons of companies out there. Why exactly did CTFO stand out for you?
The reason it really stood out, well, first let me backtrack a little bit if I can just share a little bit more information. So Sure. When I first started with MLMs, which was over the last couple of years, one of the things I learned when you start your own business, like I did a few years ago, you don't necessarily have that, consistent guaranteed pay every 2 weeks or every month. So the more broad your portfolio can be, the better it is, right? Then you have more opportunity to generate more revenue.
Right.
And I will honestly say that in the past, the MLMs that I did sign up with and start did not go so well for me. And I know now why that is. And maybe I'll share that a little bit later. But
Sure.
CTFO kind of came along and it actually just popped up on my Facebook. And like many people, I'll jump on something with some thought, but maybe not. I'm not a hesitator for sure. I will definitely take a chance on things. I like chance and I like change.
No risk, no reward.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because initially I signed up for this as a means to actually attract more people to my existing business, because I've built a good community for my business here in Edmonton, but I've kind of was reaching a bit of a limit, and all my clients have done all my workshops and my trainings, and I was kind of starting to see a little bit of a lull. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe this might help to kind of pick up my existing business again. But what was interesting was within the first week, I quickly saw how the potential in this company. I realized that it was different from the other MLMs that I had done in the past, but I also realized that I was different at this point too. And maybe I'll elaborate a bit about that a little later on, but I saw how easy this was, how fun it was. And honestly, like I said, within the first week or two, it was doing better than my existing business that I'd been building the past 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to actually put some effort into this. And I still haven't put a ton of effort for the reward that I've gotten back. So it's just, like you said, it's mind blowing. And I'm still mind blown today, every day when I wake up.
It's unreal. Like I'm in your community and I've seen every day, it's always, there's new posts, new community aspects being built into that page. And it shocks me how quickly this thing is growing.
It is. And the other thing that's important to me with this is it aligns with everything else I've done, all of my other health and wellness, right? Because my whole purpose with all of my businesses is supporting good physical, mental, and emotional health. And CTFO and their products definitely fit into that.
Yeah, like I got to agree. I mean, with CTFO has something that, and I got to admit, like me and Marco, when we started with the CBD MLM, we actually started with a different company. I'm not going to name the company on the show here, but the one thing that stood out for us with CTFO is that it costs you absolutely zero to start. It's absolutely free.
Absolutely.
And that was something that really stood out. And another thing that really stood out was their compensation plan was also another really interesting thing that stood out, because not only do you benefit from your downline, but you can benefit from your upline. which was really cool.
And the thing I love too, in addition to all of that, is the fact that the products are THC free, which is important to a lot of people. And the fact that they offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, I mean, that alone just tells you about the quality of their product. I mean, if it wasn't top quality, they would be refunding left, right, and center, and they wouldn't be as successful as they are. So it's a professional company with quality product.
I find that you don't see that with a lot of companies, but with CTFO, you'll notice right on the homepage, you could check the lab results and you can read every single ingredient on their bottles.
Exactly. I love it. The education, the tools, the resources are beyond compare.
Right. And so, I mean, we're talking about CTFO being an MLM, and for those people that don't understand quite what an MLM is or network marketing, can you maybe give your own brief description of what an MLM is?
Well, I mean, it definitely has a stigma out there, right? I think you say MLM and a lot of people think, oh my gosh, pyramid scheme and all this other thing. And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, any org chart it looks like a pyramid. So it doesn't matter whether you're working 9 to 5 downtown Edmonton or in LA or wherever city, country you're in. I mean, there's always this hierarchy, so to speak. But the difference with MLM, I mean, you're putting the effort in, and the results are coming more to you than to the person above you, if that makes sense.
Yep,
absolutely.
And I mean, just the work-life balance alone that this brings. I mean, I'm going about my day doing really awesome, relaxing things as I'm working my business. I mean, I spent an hour doing cardio at the gym the other day while I was working on my phone, and it felt like 10 minutes. I mean, it was a great workout. I was getting paid to work out.
That's amazing.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right?
Exactly. I couldn't go back to that 9 to 5. It's life is too short, and we need to enjoy it. And if we can find a way to generate, health, wealth, and live long, why not?
So we mentioned a little bit, you said it earlier, MLM does sort of have this negative stigma about it. People are claiming it's a scam or it doesn't work. Have you ever had any of those kind of doubts or hesitations yourself? And what was it that changed your mind if you did?
Well, I definitely had doubts. In the past, I wouldn't say it was necessarily that I thought it was a scam. I mean, there's definitely some things out there that seem a little bit more sketchy than others. But I do believe in MLMs. What I didn't believe in was myself. And I think that's where a lot of people fail. And what's really interesting is I find people are a little bit hesitant, and they maybe give in and give it a try, but very rarely, I think, do people make it that past month or two. But what's funny is, in the corporate world, we get a new job and there's this 3-month, grace period, or what do we call it? What's the word I'm looking for, you guys? See, I've been out of the corporate world for so long. Probation period.
That's right, probation, yeah.
Yes, you have this probation period. In the beginning, it's exciting, right? You have this new job, and you're working hard, and you get through this probation period, and eventually the excitement starts to wear off, right? And it's not too long before all of a sudden you start complaining about the job, you're complaining about the people, the hours, the policies, and everything else. But yet, day after day, you keep showing up to that job and you keep doing the work, right? But yet most people will quit on their MLM before even making it to the 2-month period. Like, you think about that for a minute. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
We're more dedicated to a company that we don't even care about than we are to our own self.
I don't think I've ever heard anything more true. And I think it was Tony Robbins that actually said that it's a shame how many people actually quit just before they're about to plateau at success.
Yeah.
And I agree. There's a meme out there that I really like, and it's about these two miners, and they're both mining a tunnel through the ground, and at the end there's diamonds, and the one miner's got his pick over his shoulder and he's walking away, and he's got just a little bit left, and the other guy's just going really hard and he makes it, right, because he doesn't give up. I think that's amazing because I mean that's the case for a lot of people. Like they're so close to being successful, but then they quit, and they quit just before they are, and it's a shame.
Absolutely. I mean, we will work a whole year to get a 50-cent raise.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't give our MLM 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What are some roadblocks maybe that you've run into in your business?
I would say, well, for me personally, when I first got into MLMs, I did not like the feeling of being pressured. So I think when a person joins an MLM, they need to be provided with resources, support, and encouragement. But we as the enroller, if we get pushy, we're going to lose them. And
Right.
Everyone is different. So some people are go-getters. They're just going to sign up and they're going to take things and run with it. Some people need reassurance and guiding. Some people you need to really take their hand and walk them through. And as a leader, I think you need to recognize the needs of your team members and support them in the best way that works for them. The cookie cutter approach, it just doesn't work. Not in my experience anyway.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree. I mean, we run into so many different types of people, like you said, and being in an MLM, you do become a leader, and you have to learn to become a leader, because some people really are dependent on you. Some people will come into this business and just kind of take off on their own, but there's others that really need that, I guess, hand-holding, I guess, so to speak. I don't know if I like that word, but you know what I mean, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I've had people over the past couple months where I've arranged to spend an hour with them to even just teach them how to make a Facebook post or to teach them how to copy and paste.
Right. Wow.
And I am more than happy to do that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Like we said, you got to be that leader.
Yeah.
And it pays itself off eventually, right? I mean, what you put in, you get out.
Absolutely. Whether it's, you're leading a team through an MLM or whether you're a manager in a corporate business, you're only as good as the people below you.
Yeah, so I think you kind of answered what my next question was going to be about overcoming those roadblocks. So you talked about leadership a little bit. So I'm going to skip to the next part here. We wanted to ask you, some of our listeners, we spoke on what an MLM industry is, but in regards to business, they might not understand exactly how it operates as a business. So let's move into that subject a little bit. And would you mind explaining to us what kind of earning potential does MLM offer?
Well, that's a good question. And there definitely isn't, what's one set answer. What you put in is what you get out. However, in saying that, I truly believe that mindset is the key component in determining how successful you are. I believe a person can make more money with the right mindset, putting in less time than someone who puts in 10 hours a day and does not have the right mindset. And believe me, I have been a test pilot for this. If a person sets their mind to it, I would say it is definitely possible to make 6 figures in a year. This does take time, so patience is a big part of achieving this success.
So it comes down to the earning potential being more than just monetary value. You get personal value out of it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely love that approach. I mean, you're looking at it not just from a business aspect, but you're looking at it from a personal development aspect as well, which is actually kind of an angle I never really looked at it towards. So,
right.
So, I mean, the potential to earn is there. I mean, there's lots of testimonials out there, and there's people even on Facebook or even in CTFO that are making, like you said, 6 figures easily. But how much time would you say your MLM business takes you, maybe per day or per week? Maybe let's say per day.
Well, I mean, I do put a lot more time into coaching and creating resources for my team and for myself. But if you take that away, I probably spend, I'd say maybe 10 minutes first thing in the morning when I wake up while I'm having my coffee and I make a few posts. And then again, maybe mid-morning, right around lunchtime, I'll spend another 10 or 15 minutes, throw a few posts up, again, late afternoon, and then in the evening. Other than that, I might, spend a little bit of time on an app called Canva, creating some unique little poster ads. Other than that, I am just replying to people looking for info, and that's really a cut and paste. I've made it as efficient as possible. I'm all about work smarter, not harder, and work less, make more.
Right, and that's kind of what we're kind of leading into. I mean, it's amazing, how much time it doesn't actually take too much time of your day, right? I mean, you said you take 10, 15 minutes here, 10, 15 minutes there to make a post or answer some questions, or I mean, it's amazing that it has this earning potential, but yet for such a minimal, I would say compared to a lot of business, a lot of minimal time.
Absolutely. And especially with CTFO, I mean, it's all online. We're not carrying inventory, we're not ordering for people and delivering. We're not hosting parties or anything like that. So it really is completely online. And most people are on their devices a good chunk of the day anyway. You might as well be getting paid to be on it.
Exactly.
Standing in line at the grocery store, make a post. When you're sitting at the doctor's office, make a post. I mean, there's so many times throughout the day where you have 5 or 10 minutes to work on this business, and that's really all it takes. I mean, if you put more in, great. But like I said, my approach, I've created additional resources, and CTFO has a ton of their own, but I've just added anything else I can to make it really kind of this cut and paste approach that it's so simple for all of us.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely. So it's fair to say that your MLM business has the potential to replace your income, but how much of that would you actually say you consider work? Because it seems like you really enjoy what you do, right? So is it more of a hobby to you or work?
I would say it's more of a hobby. I mean, it's fun. It's something that I enjoy. And I've always been big on that. Even when I was in the corporate world, if I've not been happy at a job, I will leave and find something else. I'm not going to expect a job to change to meet my needs. You have to create your own happiness. And when you find something that works like that, I mean, it's great. I mean, I love being able to, go to the gym at, 8 or 9 or 10 in the morning when there's nobody there and everybody is at work and it's quiet, or to be able to go to the grocery store at 2 in the afternoon when it's quiet, nobody's there, to take a nap in the afternoon, right? I mean, or, when it's 35 below outside, you can just stay inside and work from your phone or your laptop. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about the weather. There's so many benefits.
Yeah, that freedom is just, it's absolutely amazing. And like you said, while everybody's else is at work, you can go out and you can do those things when it's not busy. Maybe whether it be at the gym or even I would think like even grocery shopping or something like that. When the times are not so busy, that definitely gives you an advantage. I guess we kind of spoke a little bit about this, and it kind of leads into my other question. What are some methods you use to promote the MLM business? And I know, you mentioned that you post, and that's kind of what I'm leading at to. Like, I mean, with back, we spoke in our previous episodes that you used to have to go and reach out and have those kind of like gatherings and stuff like that. But with social media, it's such a, it's taken MLM into a whole different level. So that being said, like, how do you promote your MLM business and the product?
Well, you're right. Social media has made it so easy. Personally, I very rarely directly approach anyone. So as I mentioned before, I post 3 to 4 times a day on Facebook and Instagram. Those two seem to be where I get the most results. I also post once a day on LinkedIn and Twitter. But on Facebook, I look for what I call open windows. So this is when you're scrolling through your Facebook anyway, and you're seeing these different posts, whether it's on someone's personal page or in groups. But you come across this post where someone says, does anybody know anyone hiring? I want to make some extra money. So that is what I call an open window. It's an opportunity for you to comment with something like, hey, have you considered working from home? If so, I have a great opportunity. Or another example would be somebody who says, these headaches are really getting ridiculous. Boom, another open window, right? Then you can jump in and comment, have you ever tried CBD? So Those windows are there all the time, and it's just an invitation for you to walk in.
It's about creating value kind of deal.
Absolutely. And then, from that too, there's however many 100 people that are also going to see that post and that comment. So you're not just reaching out to that person, you're reaching out to every single person who sees that.
So you, in these groups, sorry to cut you off, but in these groups, like you say, those open window opportunities, you're not necessarily pitching the product or the business directly to them. You're just kind of offering them a solution, and then and you kind of build that curiosity.
Absolutely. Sometimes I've done that, and I get 5, 6, 8, 10 people send me a private message saying, hey, can you tell me more about this? Or, hey, I saw your post or your comment, can you tell me more about this?
That's amazing when it works too, right? When you get those messages, right?
Absolutely.
It just goes to show that you don't really have to reach out to people. People will come to you once you're able to provide them with a solution to their problems.
Yeah. They do. And, I will follow up, but I don't chase people. I follow up once, maybe twice if I know it's a person who just really needs a lot of information. But I do not, any more than that, I don't bother them, because I would view that as kind of pestering, and I wouldn't want to, feel that way. And the other thing is, if I'm spending all my time and energy there where I'm not getting results, I'm missing out on the 3 or 4 or 5 other people that are ready to get started or to order product.
Right. And I know in doing the research here in the last month or so, I know a lot of other MLMers, they say the fortune is in the follow-up, right? I mean, and they kind of tell you to keep following up. But I have to agree with you. I mean, there comes a point where maybe just that person's not interested, or maybe they're just not ready. They're not at that point in their life where they're ready to change that, change their job or to start something new. So, I'd have to agree with you there.
And absolutely. And I think that might have been different, pre-online social media days when you only had a small audience. But when you have this audience of millions of people, that's 1 or 2 people out of, millions of people.
Yeah.
So put energy out into the group more than focusing on 1 or 2 individual people. I think you're going to have a lot more success that way.
Yeah, it's the old ways of doing things versus the new way. And the new way, I just think, makes it so much easier for more people to succeed because you have that extra reach.
Exactly. And the other thing, and I can't speak for other MLMs, but with CTFO, and I mean, the fact that it's CBD, that it just sells itself. Like, I can't count the number of people who have just clicked my link and signed up or ordered products without even talking to me or asking me about it. So, if you're just even putting your post out there with your link in it to your website, you could be getting 3, 4, 5 customers without even explaining anything to them or having a conversation with them.
Yeah, and the beauty about it is it's just starting to blow too, right? It's like starting to blow up now.
Absolutely.
I mean, if unless you live under a rock, you pretty much, you're seeing CBD, out there being promoted a lot more now. But, like you mentioned earlier, Forbes estimates this to blow up by 700% or whatever it was. That's huge. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to get a piece of that pie.
Absolutely. And even just, the wealth piece is incredible. But then you look at the health piece too, and the healing, the testimonials that we're seeing from so many people for so many different things. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great business to get involved in when you can impact people in more than just one way, as you had mentioned. So I think we've kind of shed that light on that negative stigma that we talked about. So I want to transition a little bit here, and I want to ask you, is there any words of advice that you could offer to our listeners or anybody who's just starting out a business?
All right. So I would say, first of all, sign up for my online workshop for the pre-sale cost of $49. That's going to teach you how to start your own business, and then join my CTFO team.
Great answer.
Absolutely.
Hello, marketing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, because, there's a lot of other MLMs out there, and everybody deserves to be successful. So what I would say is the things to really focus on are mindset, consistency, and patience, right? Success does not happen overnight. Along with building your business, you also have to rebuild yourself. I could spend an hour talking about mindset, but But if you need, or if you want to have a different outcome, you have to change things, right?
Right.
And this means you need to do some work on yourself. There needs to be personal growth and personal development. And that's going to bring abundance not only into your business, but into all areas of life.
That's awesome. I mean, I think no one's ever said it better to us. I don't know about you, Serge.
Oh, I agree. That was a perfect way of putting it.
So to carry on to that question kind of a little bit, are there any mentors or any books that you love and would recommend to people?
Yes. So as of late, I am a super huge fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's 3 books that I would definitely recommend. The first is called Breaking the Habit of Being You. The second one is You Are the Placebo. And the third one is called Supernatural. And these books have been a big part of helping me to change my mindset. He also has a ton of great resources and videos on his YouTube channel. You can Google his website. He is all about rewiring the brain and helping us to understand why we are the way we are, why we make these decisions we do. And the reason we're not succeeding is because we're stuck, right? We keep making the past our future. We keep doing things over and over because it's comfortable. And it's fear that blocks us. We are creatures of comfort. And, we want that different outcome. That needs change. Change involves the unknown. And we fear that, right? At first, change is really exciting.
Right.
But as soon as there's a little bit of conflict or challenge and it becomes uncomfortable, we quit. We go back to doing things the way we've always done them because it feels safe. But yet nothing's ever going to change. And his teachings are a lot about this, about, how to rewire our brain and to change ourselves to create a different outcome.
Make the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. I actually wrote those down, so I'm definitely going to have to, I'll definitely give those a read. That's awesome.
I'm reading them for the second time currently, and I do several of his meditations. And like I said previously, there was a lot of MLMs that I wasn't so successful at. And I mentioned that part of why I'm seeing more success now is definitely because of CTFO, the way they are, the professionalism, the products. But it's also because I've changed too. I'm not the same person I was when I was trying those other MLMs. So, changing the mindset also changes your outcome as well.
Right, changing your own future outcome, exactly. And there's a saying I love that's out there, and it's the first investment you should make in business is in yourself.
Absolutely.
I think that's very powerful.
The best investment you can make is in yourself.
Right, exactly. So I think you touched a little bit on this earlier, but how can our listeners who are interested in your products and services, how can they reach you, and how can they look forward? What can they look forward to hearing from you in the future? Like, if you have any new projects or anything exciting coming up?
I do. I've always got things on the go. As I mentioned earlier, I'm actually just launching next Friday, the 25th of January, an online course that is all about how to start and build a successful MLM. So whether it's CTFO or another MLM, I'm just giving you all of what I've learned, all of what works, doesn't work, tools, resources, just in this one online course. That's start whenever you want. It's finish whenever you want, lifetime access. So it's not like a starts this day, ends that day. The pre-sale price for that is $49. That's for this next week. Once it's completely available, it'll be the regular price of $69. That is on my online school website, which I will mention that maybe towards the end here. But it's Empowered Life is the online school through Teachable. But on that site, I also have a few other free workshops and some free meditations and other courses. So there's opportunity to check that out.
Awesome. You
can reach me by email at kimwilkinsoncoaching@gmail.com. KIMWILKINSON coaching@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook under Kim Snell. I have a Facebook page. called Empowered Life. And you should be able to get me through there somewhere, and then I can pass on all my other links and websites and all that great stuff.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So one last question, this is our kind of bonus question, and one that I love. What is one phrase or quote that keeps you motivated in your journey to success?
Okay, so again, this comes from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's kind of one of his catchphrases, and it is, if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality.
Awesome.
And again, it's just all around mindset.
That is awesome. I think we're just about wrapping up our interview here. I want to thank you again so much for coming onto our podcast, Kim. We look forward to seeing your progress and the impact you're making. I will see you at your workshop. Is there any final words you want to say to our viewers?
I want to say, first of all, thank you to both of you for inviting me to be a part of this. And I want to thank all of your listeners for taking the time to listen. And I want to encourage your listeners to come back and listen to future podcasts and to make sure that they let everybody know about the Wealth Project podcast so that we can just grow this community.
That's fantastic. Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Kim. I appreciate all the knowledge and everything you've shared with us.
Thank you so much. You guys have a fabulous night.
You too, as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for our interview with Kim Wilkinson. What an amazing conversation we had today. Don't you agree, Serge?
Yeah, I agree. There are some powerful messages and lessons in this episode. As Kim mentioned, Kim offers an amazing course which she teaches you how to start your own home-based MLM business and how to online market it. If you're interested in joining any of Kim's amazing courses, head over to thewealthprojectpodcast.com/empowered life. The MLM course is easily worth hundreds of dollars, but Kim is offering it for only $69 for lifetime access. That is not the price you're going to pay. All the Wealth Project podcast listeners are going to receive an extra 5% off by using the coupon code TWP. Kim also has a lot of meditations and other courses that are available absolutely free. We'll have all the info for her links in the show notes for this episode at thewealthprojectpodcast.com/episode 3.
That's right, guys. And if you're loving our content and enjoy the podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, whatever platform you listen to on. And as always, we'll give you a shout out in the future episode. On that note, we're also always looking for suggestions for future episode topics and new guests to join us. If you go to thewealthprojectpodcast.com/contact, you'll find our email list, or our email form rather, where you can get a hold of us, or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram under the Wealth Project Podcast to leave a suggestion or even just to say hi.
Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Project Podcast. Visit our website at thewealthprojectpodcast.com. See you next episode.